Hello, everyone. Welcome to the fan cams. After the Blues beat the Gold Coast Suns by 29 points at Marvel Stadium this afternoon, 15 goals, 12, 102 to 11 goals, 7, 73. It was a win we needed, let's be honest. Bit restless throughout the week, got the job done, and this is the fan cams. So if you're new here, welcome. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you are new. If you want to call in, share your thoughts, bring up some themes and issues that are on your mind, feel free to. I'm going to put the link in the chat now. Once you hit this link, you come into the waiting room, and then we'll get through everyone. We're nice and early, so we'll get through absolutely everyone today, and we won't have to be talking until the early hours of the morning unless we go for 7-8 hours. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let's begin.
He's cursed it. He cursed it. I might be working till the early hours of the morning. He's cursed it.
Just covering all bases.
How are you? All right, champ?
Yeah, good. It was a pretty chilled day at the footy today. Yeah, I mean, it was a little frustrating at times, but I mean, I did feel like we were winning the game from the first bounce.
I mean, Vossi trying stuff, eh? Do you know what I mean? A bit of Z-Will mid-forward, a little bit of Elijah on the ball, a little bit of Pomcott going up against Tuck Miller.
I saw that. I was surprised, pleasantly surprised to see that. Cincotta, he did it for the whole game, just sat on Tuck Miller, and I don't know, is that something we put in the back pocket and use for later in the year, maybe?
Well, I think you saw it, didn't you? I mean, there's two quarters, I suppose, we've got to talk about. I mean, the fourth quarter, which was a little bit meh. But, I mean, the game was won, but it was a bit meh. And the second quarter, we really did see Voss go to the Kennedy-Hewitt-Cripps combination. He hit the emergency button, and you did see it, didn't you? The fourth quarter, Tuck Miller spent 10 minutes with George Hewitt, and you really saw what happens when there is a player who's got a bit of running power through there. But all in all, I mean, these new little things we're starting to see at the moment, Kemp playing the loose, McGovern getting more defensive responsibility. It's kind of nice to see it, because I do feel like the big issue I have watching our Blues is we become very one-dimensional and very predictable. And it's nice to see Voss trying to add some layers before our very eyes, which will hold us in good stead. Wasn't the complete performance, but I think it's going to be one of them cases, isn't it? You're going to have two mindsets of fans. Fans who've watched football in 2024 and know Gold Coast do beat you up if you're not at the races. And then the fans who just want to say Gold Coast is shit and they'll downplay the win. But that's an important 4 points. The pressure was building and the pressure's been released today a little bit.
Yeah, I think especially when we start talking about this team, you know, let's be honest, if we want to be a consistent top four team, you know, contending for a premiership, we've got to learn to put sides away when we have that dominance. I think that's where I was a bit frustrated in that first half. Just felt like in general play, it was all us, but for whatever reason, just kept kicking it to Mac Andrews' advantage, which improved in the second half. I would have liked a bit more of a margin. I think we all would, but at the same time, you got to just win the game of footy at the end of the day.
You would do. And I mean, I'd counter it and say the Blues aren't exactly playing splendid football, aren't they, at the moment? No. So, I mean, I always hear about the margin thing, but I mean, if you're tuning up for a final, unless the AFL have changed the laws in the 15 years that I've followed this game, I'm pretty sure you just go through to the next round in a final, don't you? Whether you win by 100 or you win by 1.
You get to a final, you just got to win the game. That's very true.
I could be wrong. The AFL change a lot. I don't know if they've changed it and said that if you dominate the first quarter, you must win the fourth by 80 points or you will not progress. Is that a rule? Is that a rule? I don't know. No, I mean, he was good. I think he was entertaining. I mean, there was some things there that I really didn't like. And I think Voss will have learned a lot. I think the fourth quarter, he's probably learned more about the team than he did the other 3 quarters, where he saw when we changed the little things up, became a little bit stagnant. And particularly in that second, you saw them shallow entries, which you talked about. But we said it on the live. The simple fix, switch Charlie Kerner to full forward and play McAndrew deep. And when we played McAndrew deep, McAndrew was ineffective because his skill set is breaking lines and he couldn't break free lines to get into the midfield. So I really enjoyed that bit. And you know what? It's a big win. It's a big win for them because you know what? They lose this game. The media already started. Melbourne teams don't, worth their salt, don't lose to Gold Coast at Melbourne. And that would have been, I think, a pressure furnace too much. But they've got the win. Port Adelaide next week. And whether you're a team's percentage person or you're a team intelligence person, you've got to knock teams out of the 4. So Carlton have got to keep beating these teams in and around the 8. And next week's a big game because Port Adelaide, they've got a big win this week. And then after that, you've got Essendon. And at the moment, Essendon are a top 4 side, aren't they? Albeit on the ladder. So you've got to go into these 2 games with some confidence, spend the week off, and then back end of the season, we don't have to play top 8 sides apart from twice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, who do we get back this week? We got back Sard. We got back Fogarty. I think both of those guys, probably Sard in particular, will be better for the run. He seemed to just be managing himself. Didn't see him run and carry as much as what we're used to. I think the most important thing now is, okay, you've got a nice chunk of the boys back, a few more to come back. Motlop will come back, you would assume, eventually. Can they just stay settled? Can they just stay in, not get hurt? I was actually talking to the guys next to me at one point saying, all right, the boys are back. Can we just stay settled? And I think Wiedering went down and he was sort of hurting a bit. And I thought, okay, here we go again. But how much of a difference do you think having the team settled will make this team, if at all?
In an ideal world, mate, if we could have the same 22 out, we'd be world beaters. But unfortunately, we live on an earth that's round. Do you know what I mean? We don't live on flat earth. So sometimes we have to live in the realms of reality, don't we? Of course, I mean, I think you'd say that about anything. In any work of life, if you can work with the same people every day, it gets a little bit better. Do you know what I mean? The synergy builds. I think in reality, though, what we've learned today is some interesting things. Like you talk about Sard. Sard played a more defensive role. Kemp, we saw it again, playing high half back, taking the game on. And that was a big change there. You saw certain players this week took the game on, which helped us. And Sard, I've got to give Sard a shout out. The third quarter, Carlton started very flat-footed. It was Sard who burst away and Carlton started to go forward. And I do think something that these boys are going to have to learn is probably some in-game intelligence, which at the moment is few and far between the best players and the worst. And you see Sard when he takes the game on, Ollie Hollands when he takes the game on, it forces the rest of them to take the game on. So that'll be something that I think we will persevere with and we'll get better at. But at the moment, Jesus Christ, people at the start of this game were telling me that we were going to lose this game and it was game over. So the vibes this week should be, you've got 4 points, you've learned, and that's good. And you know what? Shout out Mr. Charlie Kerner as well. A lot of people on Twitter went a little bit early. You can see why some of them have miserable partners if that's how quickly they fire their shot. But Charlie found a way. Brought it to ground against McAndrew and did pretty well. Harry worked hard in the ruck and very interesting. You know, TDK, which was noticeable, but TDK did all right. Did all right there. So I think TDK will feel a little bit better getting a full game of ruck under his belt.
He plays so differently when it's just him in there, doesn't he? I mean, naturally, it's just him. That means he's at more, ruck contests. Pito's been in career best form, so there's been a case to make that, you keep him in the side, and he obviously goes out with the finger or the hand or whatever. I think now we just probably reinforces you don't have to rush Pito back. Tom's more than capable. I mean, he's capable now of doing it on his own when he needs to. I think the beauty of it is, and I think this will be a question that we ask for the rest of the season. How do we manage it moving forward? It's a tough one.
I think it's a case-by-case basis, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? But like Petra's probably got the best comment of all time. Do you know what I mean? This is why Petra's fast becoming my top 3 favourite people. Do you know what I mean? It's spot on. We can be negative. I mean, for those saying we haven't played well this game, didn't they just absolutely destroy Geelong? And wasn't everyone telling me 2 weeks before Geelong were back to winning a flag? So if this season hasn't told you putting sides away should not be taken advantage of, West Coast won games. They looked shot 4 weeks ago. This isn't the finished article, and you can see what, back to your point earlier, continuity is killing this team at the moment. They're changing all the time. The most reassuring thing to hear this morning for me was Mr. Voss saying this is the best defence he can pick when they're fully fit. And right. I agree with him. That defence there, we said in the preview, this game won't be won in the centre, won't be won in forward half turnover. It will be if Carlton can get their defensive half going. And all but 3 points in the first half were Carlton's defensive half. That needs to come in, because once that comes in, that is what you look at. Forget percentage, forget anything else. Teams that can counter-attack win flags, and it has been for the last 26 years in this league. That is what we're looking at. That needs to get better. It was okay today. This time next week needs to be very good, because Port Adelaide like a little bit of forward pressure. So that's where the Blues can hurt them. But this was a good game because they've played the Masters of the Art Sydney. These are Audi version of Sydney. We've proved we can do it against a lesser opposition than Sydney. Next week, it goes up a little bit because the forward pressure of that team is very good.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. So Port Adelaide in 5 days, they played at the exact same time as us. So both teams coming off a 5-day break. We're going to be, it's a quick turnaround. We're going to have to get ratings and everything done pretty quickly. Maybe we should enjoy this win for an hour or two, and then we'll focus on Port. But what do you look forward to next week? Is this the time you bring in a Motlop?
I think if you watch Motlop this week in the VFL, was he spectacular? You're probably his mum and dad, if you say yes. If you're honest, you'd probably say he didn't do anything. If everyone was fit and playing okay footy, would you do it? So, I mean, like for me, maybe. He may be in with a chance of playing. But to be honest, unless there's any injuries, I don't really see, unless you tell me Cherra's miraculously fit and we change that, I don't think he could come in. Because I think, although Orazio wasn't a world beater, he wasn't exactly dog shit as well. He had his moments, and I don't think he can play Mr. Motlop as high up the ground as he can. Mr. Fantasia, you can't. Motlop would go missing. So it's going to be an interesting one for Vossi, because you'd imagine there'll be some little switches. But you know what? Sun Stands is in the chat. Fantastic performance by his son. Suns are no longer the whipping boys of this league.
No.
Are no longer the whipping boys of this league, and they'll hold themselves in good stead in the future. And these are the games the Blues have got to put away. 30 points. Fantastic for me. We'll move on and let's fucking fuck up the Port, eh? Let's kill them.
Let's kill Port next week. Amazing, mate. Thank you very much for the watch along. Nice and calm today, and we back it up. See you with the ratings.
I wasn't calm. I was firing shots at dickheads. So, but I enjoyed the football, though. I enjoyed the football. The two-faced melt behaviour, not so much, but the football was very good.
Yeah. Well, go Blues.
Go Blues.
See you, mate. Young Zach Borg.
How are we, Terry? Well, it was a good win. We just had to win that game, and that's what they did. You know, I would say it was a very comfortable win in the end. Would see how Vossi really changed some things up. Like, I was very surprised how we put Chincotta forward. I want to ask this: how do you reckon he did? Because we also played him in the middle, and I was saying he's playing like that Chris Judd because he's bald and stuff. Like, how did you see him? Like that? Were you surprised before the game that he was playing like in two different positions? Like, I think he played defense a little bit, but you know, how did you see it?
I liked his role on Touk Miller. I thought
he was very good.
I actually thought Touk Miller was not really a factor in the game. So I thought from that point of view, he did his job tagging him. We haven't really seen Chincotta do that for this team before in the midfield. That is, he plays lockdown on small forwards generally. I didn't mind it. I mean, it took Miller's a serious opponent. I thought he showed he was capable of doing it, and I don't know if we do it every week, but I think it's something that worked today.
Yeah. Also, I reckoned now Tommy was talking about TDK before and Fitnet. I reckoned we played better. And now I know this might be very, like a bit of a shock for me to say, but I reckon we played better without Pitnet. I don't know if you see that or if anyone else sees, but I reckon we play better for him because it gives TDK more ruck time, and we can ruck players like Harry and Kennedy, and it just gives us that more speed when we like in the middle and like around the ball and stuff. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially when you come up against a team like the Suns who play one main ruck in Wits, I think it works.
TDK played really well. He was very good.
Yeah, he was very good. His follow-up efforts are great.
I mean,
Wits is one of the best tap ruckmen in the league. He had 46, but I thought TDK did more than hold his own today. It was solid.
Yeah, it was solid. And it was a really good win. And next week we go to Adelaide and we play Port. Like, big step up from Gold Coast this week, but these are the sides you have to beat. If we want to prove ourselves and we want to play finals, we have to beat these teams. But we enjoy the win. And a couple more things before I got to go. I reckoned our defence was very good today. That's something Rossi was talking about pre-game. I reckon Cowan played well. I think he got 19 disposals. Yeah, it was good. Sardi coming back, he was decent for, coming back, played his role. But obviously, we're going to need him to be better next week against Port with his run. Obviously, you said it before, we didn't see much of that today. But it was good to get the win. And I'm going the boys! Come on, Terry, we're back! Up the baggers! Come on, next week, we move on to Port. Come on! Woo! See you, Terry.
See you, mate. Oh, dear me. It's so good. Jade.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. How are you?
Yeah, cool. Very good, very good. Calling in from Italy. How's it going?
Where in Italy?
Like an hour and 20 minutes from Rome drive, like to the centre.
In Roma. Love that. Welcome.
Cool. I've been here before, but
you have. I remember you.
Yeah, I came on a loss, so now we won. Yeah, go the Blues.
What did you make of that one?
Yeah, good. I was pretty I was confident, but just the inaccuracies were a bit of my worry at some point, because I was like, they're super accurate every time they're lining up for goal. So that was just a bit, having my thoughts at halftime. But I was I'm like, we're not going to let this one slip. So I was happy about that. So.
Yeah, I was there today. I think from the first passage of play, I think Zach Williams kicking the goal early, that for me. I mean, I'm like you. I was confident we'd win. I thought we were the better team. I thought the way we started relieved any stress that I thought that we might slip up and have one of those bad days. I think I'm with you as well. I think we all felt a bit of frustration because we dominated a lot of passages of play without dominating on the scoreboard, and that is just something this team. I mean, they're not there yet. They haven't learned how to,
totally,
like, for lack of a better word, kill.
Yeah. And our mids were getting to work, and I was like, you want to make it count, when you've got all that momentum in that part of the ground. So yeah, so that was a thing. But I like Vossi's move and like mixing people around. The Zach Williams, that was good. I think that was good for his confidence as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think
I saw him like just shining after that when they interviewed him. and he was like, he looked totally different to what he did like two games ago.
Thing about Zach, I would say before today's clearly the best game I've seen him play and impact he's had. He hasn't really had like a game, like a defining game with the club. And I think today we'll look back on that one and say, okay, remember that time he kicked 4 goals? And
for sure.
I don't know. I don't want to get too carried away with it, but it could be a nice little ace up the sleeve to use now that everyone's fit. Maybe he is an answer for us in the forward line.
Yeah. It was good to see other goal kickers as well step up when they had to. That was important, like the mids kicking goals as well. Because I watched Collingwood yesterday just because it was on, but I see them do a lot of that too. Like people step up when they have to, and I think that's what really makes good teams good is when everyone steps up to kick goals, not just the big tall, not just up to Charles and Harry, because, we know they can do it, but sometimes, they just need a little bit more time to get into the game. So, but Charles ended up getting there, and I knew he would. I'm quite confident with him, like, stepping up when it's his time. And he did a couple little things that got him back in and built his confidence getting in the game. So
he's very hard to stop over 4 quarters. You can get him for 1, 2, maybe 3 quarters, but he just finds a way to have his 10 minutes of brilliance.
And when he does get that little bit, like, that it's going to go up a notch at some point. So, he was good. TDK was good. I like we're mentioning the two in the ruck. I don't know. TDK did look a bit tired at times, so I don't know if like having also that mix and Pito, but Pito's played so well. Like, how can you say that he's gone up another level in his game? So it's hard to just block him out now. But I think having the options is just what we need, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, just give us options to win games.
Main thing with Tom, we all love when he plays like that, sole ruck, but it's such a taxing position, and we actually have a luxury having Pito on the list because it just means that we can make sure that hopefully we play finals and get there and qualify at a high, on a high spot in the ladder. But if we get there, Tom's fresh. We can get Tom as fresh as possible.
Exactly. That's important. And I like how Saad didn't put too much of his body on the line. I like how he just kind of played it easy, made the right choices, right decisions, right handballs, did a little bit of running, but I think that was good. Like, he didn't kill himself for a game that we kind of had. I was quite confident, but because we want to get everyone healthy as much as possible towards the back end of the year. So,
So over the next month, say 3-4 weeks, everything going right. Hopefully everyone's rehab goes well. I think the 3 that come to mind that could come into the side, Motlop's got to find some form and some touch. I think Chera obviously get over the hamstring and get back in, and Jack Martin. Then
we've got Cottrell as well.
True. How can I forget Cottrell?
Yeah, that's a good in when that happens, I think.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you start thinking about you got to time your run into finals, and that's where it matters the most for us.
For sure.
Yeah. Amazing.
Cool. Well, go Blues. And,
go Blues, mate.
Yeah, enjoy your evening, and I'll enjoy my day. It's only 9:30 here. 9:40. So go have a cappuccino and a croissant at a bar. Yeah, it's Saturday, so go Blues.
Go Blues. See you, Jade. Thanks for calling in.
Bye.
Sayaf, he's been a member for 22 months. ZW6, what a guy. Shield with the $2. Bring in young Carol is shite. Oh, Shield. Wow. All right. Fair. All right. Joel, let's talk.
Let's talk. Let's do it.
How are you?
It's always nice to have a win, isn't it? You must be feeling good.
Oh, I'm just calm. It was just a calm. It wasn't a stressful day. It was those chilled Saturday arvos at the footy. I didn't feel at any point we're going to lose the game. Definitely would have loved to see the margin blow out a bit more, and that's probably what's missing.
Yeah. Look, let's. Gold Coast were very average. They really were pretty. Look, we didn't play amazingly. We played better than last week, but I just feel like it was pretty average competition. The team we're playing against were pretty poor. But no, credit to Carlton. So I just feel like we're a very lackadaisical team. Now, I don't know if that's sort of an instruction from Bossy just to sort of we don't like. I know a lot of people would say, "Oh, we should have gone for a 10-goal win," and we just sort of don't go too crazy about, I don't know, kind of killing the opposition. But
we haven't got that yet, do we? This team, we just haven't got that trait.
Yeah, we just seem like a bunch of two nicer guys, kind of thing, and it's interesting. It's interesting to see how far that will take us.
I mean, how does a team get to there? How does a team get it? How do you find that?
Yeah, well, look, I think you made a good point earlier about us sort of trying to field a team where 2 or 3 players don't go in, week out. So I think it's that continuity, having that structure around players, when it sort of becomes more like that kind of well-oiled sort of engine where we kind of just everything's kind of perhaps sort of more automatic, and it's kind of looks better to the eye, and whether that's kind of an explanation for that approach, that look where we do look lackadaisical. So, but I think it's also mindset, and I think look. I mean, I'm not privy to what goes on inside the 4 walls. It could be just, well, look, it's a long season. Let's just sort of get to that point where we do play finals, and then let's go for the jugular. But it's interesting. I mean, I don't know what you think. I don't know, but
I think we're not anywhere near what we can be.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And I think, I do think having
that's the frustrating part.
I think having the team settled is part of the equation. My fear is that you got to learn another harsh lesson before you start getting the killer instinct.
We've had a few harsh lessons, Terry.
mate, we've been living it our whole lives, and I just also think that the win, it had to win. I thought when we blew it out to 40, I thought, all right, finally, they've sort of been battling all day, got it out to 40 plus. I thought, all right, here we go. We can really put this one away. And then
we didn't completely give up. Look, we did sort of run out a little bit of puff, I felt, and obviously let them in with a couple of 3 goals, I think it was. But I mean, the second half kind of definitely covered up a few cracks. So I'm a fairly, as people would probably tell, I'm a fairly happy customer at the end of the day tonight. And it's just, so I think the Suns are still, they're a bit disappointing today. I expected them to smash Geelong, and I just thought, well, we're, as I said on the fan cams last week, I thought we were going to be up for a real battle, and we never really were, to be honest. I don't think it was, we dominated in the stats, really, didn't we? It was just the scoreboard, which was the frustrating part we couldn't nail. But other than that, look, we did put it, so there was a lot of positives. But again, I come back to are we an A grade team yet? Probably not. And that's, we got to find that. I think, would you?
Which teams do you think are in that, genuine upper echelon, say 2 or 3?
So you'd have to go with Collingwood still.
Yeah.
They find ways to win, and Geelong potentially, Sydney definitely. Port looked very threatening And then that's probably about it.
Far off those teams do you think we are, and do you think we can catch them?
Yes. Because that's the funny nature about this game. And I think, there aren't any standout teams. Sydney sort of, but they'll probably crash a little bit. You would expect them to, because no one's really predicted them to be at this stage of the season where they are. So you're going to go back and a lot of my sort of footy mates would say, look, Collingwood definitely played a good season last year, but they weren't really up against a really dominant other outfit. Look, Brisbane were pretty good too. But so what I'm trying to get at is, it's open for anyone really. That's how I see it at this stage.
What's important for you next week against the Power? Last question before I let you go.
Okay.
5-day break for both clubs?
I would keep the team as it is. I think. Like, I was very happy with the back line. Kempy played pretty well. Sardi was, very good. Newman's a really good player for us.
He's for some reason he goes unnoticed.
Underrated.
I think in the comp, but for us, he's.
So, it's going to be like if we played the kind of the way we did today, it's going to be a close game. You would think. I haven't seen how. I'm Port 1, but that was playing North Melbourne, so it's obvious. But look, I think if we can, they've got a bit of more pace than us, which could expose us. So, but look, I'll be happy if we get, if we win, but if we kind of, come out with a very close loss over there, that's kind of you would I think would they be heavy favourites, Port, to be next week. So if we can just show up and put in a good effort and stuff like that, I'll be pretty happy.
Yeah, fair, mate. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it. Hey, never let your standards dip, ever. We love it. I love it.
Yeah, well, I just
keeps me accountable, mate.
Thank you. But when the time, look, you just got to enjoy a win, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. All right, mate. And, Thursday night, I'll see you at roughly 10:30 p.m., 11 p.m.
Right, it's 5 days from now, isn't it? Yeah, right.
5 days from now.
Okay. All right. See you, mate. Have a good evening.
Hey, mate. Go Blues. This is an interesting one. Jeff, where are you, mate? What's the story here, Jeffy?
How are you, Tez? Sorry, mate.
Good, mate. This is
good old Saturday morning, afternoon in the pool, northeast Thailand, because it's 34 degrees, very humid and stormy.
I'm just going to say this. We've been doing this for 6 years. This is the coolest location I've seen anyone for a fan cam.
Oh, mate, let me tell you, this is where I live, and there's like a restaurant, bar here. There's swimming pool, moo barn. Got the big screen happening at home with a telly, watch the footy. And what can I say? Just love Carlton all my life.
Mate, we love it. I tell you what, I think more than ever the last couple of weeks we've seen internationals calling in, which...
Yeah, but I've been watching you for a long time, Matt. And I thought, no, I've got to do it. I was down at the cafe last week, which I'll probably go down. I'll go down later.
Yeah.
Today absolutely agree with two things you said, very pertinent things. This is a Carlton team of old. I'll tell you why. Run and carry and confidence. For a long time, the back line isn't there, right? When was the last time a small forward kicked 4 goals? I can't remember.
Couldn't tell you.
Number two, Harry wasn't involved in kicking goals, so he can't kick points. Harry works up the ground, relieves TDK in the ruck. Fantastic. Pito is fantastic, but TDK excellent in the ruck, right? Brilliant day today. But when the ball comes to ground, he's another midfielder. I must say this about Cripps. It's really, really been frustrating watching him over the last 2 years. How he won a Brownlow, I got no idea. You watch him, he always looks and balks on the first option, goes for the second option, gets caught, stuffs it up, can't kick it, goes crap, it's a turnover, right? Today, he's employed the long handball again. You know how we get in this triangle, diamond-shaped handball, flip, 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 and then we get caught and it turns over. Well, what happens is there was 3, bang, 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 and then the big handball forward or inside. Cleared goal, right?
Yep.
Harry's up the ground, taking marks, doing his work, relieving in the ruck. That's brilliant play, right? How good you get Sard back, and we've had games put into Kempy, into Cowan, right? Newman's there. Weeders wasn't fit. No way. No way was Weeders fit. But Sardi, mate, he is the most under bloody... He's just incredible, Sard. He really is. And he directs traffic. This team, you haven't seen the best of this team yet, mate. But Cowan, I saw some stuff from Cowan and Boyd today. The Holland brothers are a gift from heaven. Believe me, they are incredible. Kennedy, we haven't seen the best of him yet.
Yeah.
Mate, I was so happy today. It was just brilliant. Charlie's
I'm glad you touched on
forward craft killed Andrews. Andrews, great leaper, good defender.
I was going to say, I'm glad you touched on Lockie Cowan. I think that is a bit of a breakthrough for the young fella.
Jeez, he looks good. He looks good, mate. He's polished. He is polished.
No,
taller than he is, right? His kick into the forward line, into the wings and the link-ups. Today, Carlton created space. They absolutely outplayed Gold Coast all day. I mean, Gold Coast is a good side. You talented, mate. But Williams going into the 4 line, master stroke. I would leave him in there, and I really rate Owies. Owies is always in the right position at the right time and kicks goals. He doesn't kick points. Williams has got goal sense. He's like Eddie Betts, mate. He's just let him go, let him develop. He's going to be unreal. Fantastic day. I did say we got the cattle, and I'm very, very impressed with Vossi swinging it around. And we haven't seen the best of this team yet, mate. I tell you what, this is dynamic. We might lose a few games yet, but when we get it right, this team, we got 5 years of great footy in front of us. I tell you, it says. Anyway,
we've only just begun,
I'll get
mate.
off.
No, appreciate you calling in, mate.
Show.
Thank you,
and thank you kindly. All the best to everyone, and enjoy the ride, mate, because this is going to be brilliant. I tell you, you ain't seen nothing yet. The old blue boys are back. It's brilliant. It's like 1968, mate, when we beat Essendon. Fantastic.
Oh, good. Go Blues. See you, mate.
Cheers. Sawadee Cup.
Sawadee Cup. Robbie Varley, thanks very much for the $10, mate. That is super kind. Hey, I've got some spots in the waiting room if anybody wants to call in. If you are overseas, make yourselves known. I would love to talk to people who are outside of Australia or people who are in Australia. If you've been thinking about coming on the fan cams before, here you go. Hit the link. It's going to go in the chat now. And also thank you once again to our sponsor for the fan cams, Mr. Oud Koken. All right, let's move along. I've got Beachy. Hello, mate.
Terry, how we going, mate?
Winning's always good, isn't it? You're,
bloody oath, mate.
I'm echoing a little bit. I'm getting some feedback. Have you got me up on another tab, potentially?
Yeah, that might have just been a helicopter coming over. Are we all clear now?
Yep, we're clear.
Yeah, perfect. That was just a helicopter coming over. I am walking at the moment, so I'll try and be clear as much as I can. Yeah, winning's great. Beating Gold Coast is great. At various points, it felt like 22 Gold Coast players to 18 Carlton players. But, a win's a win, mate. We go back in the 8.
just got to keep ticking along. We don't really have much time to enjoy this one, do we? 5 days until our next game.
No, we don't. And, as you said, it's interstate now. So, we go from Melbourne to Adelaide and, make sure everybody's right to go.
Absolutely. Where is the library? Where is the infamous Smith Beach Library?
It's at home at the moment. I've just walked past Fed Square and I'm walking along the Yarra at the moment because I'm going to be going to the A-League Grand Final with some mates. But it hasn't gone anywhere. It's at home, and you will be seeing it at some point in the near future again.
Amazing, mate. Well, looking forward to next week. Thursday night, hopefully talking to you after a big win against Power.
Yeah, because we're going to need to do it. We're going to need to beat a South Australian-based side at the Adelaide Oval to, really put credentials into task. And, really be a finals contender, let alone a premiership contender.
Amazing. Now, spot on. Beachy, good luck tonight. Go the victory. And go Blues.
Thank you. Go Blues and go victory.
How good. Oh, Robbie Varley. You there, mate?
Yes. G'day, Taz. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, mate. I can see you.
Hey,
I can
mate.
hear you. How you doing?
Yeah, how are you, mate?
I'm good. Where are you calling from?
No, I'm local, man. I'm calling from Williams Landing, which is just near Point Cook.
Yep.
Yeah. Great. Great win. It was a relieving win. It was really weird sort of feeling. Being at the ground, kind of the first. We always get out of the blocks really quickly, and I think that sort of builds the crowd. But it was strange. It was just like this really. If you look at the crowd, we didn't sort of get into it. Probably till the last bit, it was just a sort of real tussle. But I felt the whole game we were so far ahead in terms of possessions, in terms of effort, in terms of everything. But just
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm actually glad you brought that up. I felt the same. I actually wrote down there was a particular moment in the third quarter. This was after the goal that Ben King had kicked. All the boys flew up. No one at ground level. Ben King kicks a goal. There was a frustration building, and it's been building all week. And there was a frustration building in the game. And then I think the umpiring calls, a few of them didn't go our way. And then there was actually a bullshit chant that started ringing around the whole stadium. And I reckon from that moment, the crowd got into it. It was really interesting.
100%. Yeah. It was almost just like this default thing of like, now they're against us. Now we're going to get into it.
Yes. Sometimes it can be the boys that get us going, and sometimes it can be the consistent umpiring calls that don't go our way and we get frustrated. But it definitely came to a bubble.
Yep. Yeah. But look, just a couple of call outs. I think Lockie Cowan, well, it's just I always get I dislike it when draft picks pick up low numbers, and when Lockie Cowan's given 2, I was like, wow, really? But geez, I think he's someone we really want to keep. He's someone for the future. Elijah Hollins again, like, man, he was fantastic. Nick Newman, he's probably BOG for me. And I just, somehow we've got to work out this connection between mid to entry to the forward line. That's the missing piece, and I'm sure they're going to get it. But once we get it, that's going to be all over.
Yeah, I mean we found a forward option in Zach Williams today. I don't know if that's something to draw a conclusion of, but I think 4 goals in a game shows a capability. The question is, what happens when Jack Martin's back in the side and Matty Cottrell's back in the side? What are we doing then? Yeah,
we've got to get those guys in. I'm really struggling with the Jack Martin and Elijah Hollins question, because they're almost the same player, really. Well, it was at least the same position. But yeah, good problem to have. Glad to have the win. But yeah, I if you were at the ground, I think you would have seen that we were so far ahead of them in terms of possession and ball movement, everything. The scoreboard didn't reflect really what the game was showing. We were way ahead of them, and then at some point in time in sort of the second quarter, I was about 1 goal ahead. I don't know what the halftime score was, but I think all of us we looked at each other going, "Fuck, really? That's all it is? 1 goal?" We were killing him. But yeah, just goes to show that without conversion, we're going to really struggle. So yeah, anyway, man, happy to get the win. And hey, and thank you again for the channel, man. It just the Mima family, we've watched you for so long. Never probably communicated this, but yeah, from a long time ago, in the dark days of 18. We've watched you for so long, mate, and my wife always remembers the I'm divorcing. Was it divorcing Carlton? We're breaking up. She always says that to me. She goes, when we lose badly, she goes, "That's it. I'm like Terry. We're breaking up." So man, thank you so much, and go Blues.
Absolutely, and thanks so much for your donations. They're very kind.
Yeah, no worries, mate. My pleasure.
Good on you. Go Blues.
Talk soon.
Bye. That's always good to put a face to the name. All right. Wildy.
Hey, Terry.
How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Very good. Good, solid win.
Yeah.
Solid
Much
win.
needed. There was a bit of frustration building from last week, I could feel.
I think so. And I think just that, I think the finishing off was a bit frustrating today, particularly in that second quarter. A lot of opportunities. Scoreboard didn't really reflect the true nature of the game. They took advantage of their opportunities, but it was good that we put the foot down in that third a little bit, and then early in the last, and probably just allowed them the last 3 or 4 goals, which maybe we were looking towards Thursday night, not consuming too many petrol tickets, saving a little bit of themselves for Thursday. So I was a bit frustrated later in the last quarter, but then I thought about it and I thought they're probably trying to save themselves for next week as well. So fair play and good to bounce back after a pretty bad loss last week. So my players that I thought I love Chincotta on Tuke Miller. I just thought that was,
oh my God.
Oh wow. And I think, again, we've just added another string to the bow. I think Pommy was saying it. Williams up forward again, kicked 3 goals.
4.
Adds something different to the forward line. I like the mix up. I think that's the positive out of today is the versatility of some of these players in those roles. And Cripps just had an enormous game. I mean, the skipper was just leading from the front. Walsh, Kennedy, they all just grinded away, and it was a good tough win.
Yeah. I think there's something to be said for trusting the new guys a little bit. Probably today, all of a sudden, I mean, usually if Chincotta's playing, then, Boyd might be getting dropped in a year, 12 months ago, or Kemp might be one that gets dropped. All of a sudden, you name 9 of them who are traditionally named in defense. Williams goes in the half forward line. Chincotta's trusted with a big job on Tuke Miller, he's an elite midfielder. All of a sudden, you're starting to see the group evolve a little bit because you're trusting guys to do something different. Do you think it's a permanent thing that we see with those guys, or do you just think they're just holding the fort down until Cottrell and Martin and these guys?
Well, I think it's a good dilemma to have. I think it just what it does. It now puts pressure on the guys that are injured to come back and I guess earn their spot back. If they're out for 3-4 weeks, it won't necessarily be okay. We'll take Chincotta out if if one of them's available, of course, if he's not in form, then of course you'd bring them in. So I think it just holds us in good stead. But yeah, why not? I mean, you've got to have a squad mentality, and I think that's the attitude that we've taken. And I think if they're good enough, they keep their spots until the other guys can push them out.
Not fair.
Yeah.
We don't really get to enjoy this one much. 5 days. Early thoughts about Port?
Look, it won't be easy. We don't play well at the Adelaide Oval, but again, that's the challenge, and no one's going to be giving us much of a chance because it's on their dunghill. But I think they're vulnerable. Port, I don't think they're unbeatable. I think it's about us overcoming our own demons at that ground and making a statement next week. I think it's a statement game that would really put the flag in the ground to say, hey, don't sleep on us.
Yeah.
So I'm pumped for it.
Tell you what, there could be scenes here on the fan cams if we find a way to get it done next week.
Oh, gee, wow. It seems. I think you're going to need a server, mate, because it'll blow up.
Yeah.
You're going to need an extra capacity on your server. But no, look, shout out to Zach. Love the energy. Young kid, just doing it beautifully. Love it. Love his energy.
That's what it's all about. No,
100%.
good on you. Thanks, Waldy.
Thanks, Terry. Take care, mate.
See ya. All right, who we got? Joe.
Oh, hello, Terry.
Mate,
Not
you're
asleep
awake.
this time, mate. Yeah, I'm awake. I'm awake.
Go, ready to go.
Yeah. No, I felt like I should get a good night's sleep before this, so I don't embarrass myself again. But yeah, no, it was good win. I thought you should have probably won by a bit more. I think we let them come back a little bit in that last quarter. But I'll say this now. I know I shouldn't be complaining because we won, but like that umpiring, oh my lord, I was getting livid. I was getting so angry. I saw I think it was a minute and a half left in the third quarter. We only had 2 free kicks to 13.
Is that right?
Yeah, two free kicks, and I'm pretty sure those only 2 free kicks were from holding the balls. So we didn't get a single free kick that wasn't from holding the ball, until probably the fourth quarter. How ridiculous is that?
Yeah, wow, that's...
And people make up this bullshit narrative that we're protected species. Are you serious?
No, it was bubbling. It was bubbling in the crowd, and then it spilt over. I think... Can't remember exactly the passage of play. It was in the third somewhere. We didn't get a free kick, or Charlie didn't get a free kick, and then they paid a free kick to the Suns, and then it just the bubble burst, and the crowd was, oh mate, it was. I mean, I love it personally. I absolutely love it when our crowd gets up and about.
Yeah,
like
I was laughing at that. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
No, but I thought a lot of our younger players really stepped up. Ollie and Elijah played really well. Particularly Cowan. I'm really glad Cowan's getting mentioned because he was he reminds me of Chincotta. His desperation to get to the footy and impact the contest. He was really, really good today. Charlie obviously stepped up in the last, which was really good. Everyone played their role really well. Again, could have been a bigger margin, but I felt like this game today was one of the first games in a while where we all played as a team, and no one was being selfish. We all looked out for one another, and we were playing as a connected team. And it gives us a lot of hope against Port, puts us in good stead against Port, because obviously our record at Adelaide Oval is not the best, but I think that's where that changes. I think this time it's going to change, and we'll give Port a run for their money.
So we can dare to dream Thursday night. We can dare to dream that we're a chance.
Oh, 100%, mate. It's people have been saying it. We're not as good as we are back in 2023. We haven't hit our stride yet. When we get a few wins in the trot and get confident, no one's stopping us. Who's going to stop us? Seriously. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm a sole believer that, and it's probably not something to blame on, but if we didn't have the injuries that we have now, we would have beaten Collingwood. If we had even McGovern for Collingwood, we would have beaten Collingwood. We probably would have beaten Adelaide. We'd probably lose to Sydney still, but those losses that we had against Adelaide, Collingwood, Geelong, we wouldn't have lost those games if we didn't have the injuries that we had. I'm a sole believer in that. So, but I reckon we can dare to dream, 100%.
Amazing. Well, I can't wait. Thursday night, mate. Quick
Yeah.
turnaround. Let's get after it.
Thursday night game. Let's do it.
Good on you. Thanks, Joe.
No worries, mate. See ya.
See ya. Huss, $8 donation says up the baggers was good seeing you after the game ripping my BA hoodie. It was good to see you, mate. There's a couple of you that have the new logo on the hoodie. That was cool. So thank you very much. I've got Amy and George here. I've got to get these in. Here we go. Hello.
Hello. Say hi, Tess.
Look at him.
Hello.
Hey. Hello.
Good job. Hello.
Oh my God, my ovaries.
Oh, good waving. Say hi, Tess. Great wave.
Hello. Hey, George. You're the good omen, George.
Yeah. Woohoo. You had a great time, didn't you? Yeah.
I know. Cripps was that good. I know. He was unreal. He was unreal.
Hey. We don't have much game analysis to offer, Tess, but we just wanted to say hello.
No, that's okay. So this was George's first game today.
It's George's first Blues game. So George's dad, my partner, is a one-eyed Geelong supporter. So
Yep.
George went to his first game at GMHBA when he was 2 weeks old and went to the Geelong Sydney Grand Final when he was 13 weeks old. So, but he hasn't been much since, and today was his first Blues game. So.
How good. Well, George, we'll be talking to you in 10, 15 years on these fan cams, mate. Get ready.
That's it. You're going to be a Blues supporter, aren't you? Hey? Yeah. Yeah. Can you tell Tez what do we do when Sadi kicks the ball? Ready? Can you go woof?
Woof. Woof.
Yeah, that's it. Woof.
Oh, that's great. How good. What a moment.
all the tricks out today, haven't you? Yeah. Woof.
What a champion. That's so cool. Hey, thanks for calling in. That's amazing.
Pleasure. Thank you for having us.
No worries. See you, George. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Go Blues. Bye.
Go Blues. Yeah. See you.
See ya. Oh, well, that is what it's all about right there, isn't it? How good. All right. I've got Toby. Hello, Toby.
Hey, Tez. How are you, Matt?
Mate, I'm good. You had a birthday during the week. You got a win. Happy days.
I did, Matt. I did. And Terry, this is my girlfriend, Ree, sitting next to me tonight.
Hey,
and
Ree.
she's an Adelaide supporter, but we won't hold that against her.
No, we won't.
So we're in Adelaide, Matt. So we thought we would bring you all the way from over here. Go the Buggers!
Mate, it was a good win. I was a bit worried. I thought if you're going to not be home, you might mess up a bit of the juju, but the boys got it done for you, you know?
I'm sorry, Matt. I'm over here and I'm loving life. It's great. It's beautiful. We're at the Lakes Hotel, and we've got our curtain open in our room, and the sunset is just beautiful, Matt. It's just stunning. So if you get the chance to ever come over here, Matt, please enjoy it, because I can tell you, Matt, it's actually quite nice to be back over here again, Matt.
Oh, that's good. So did you catch? You caught the game. You watched the game just now.
We got to see the second quarter.
Yeah, so we got to see the second half, Tez, because we were on the plane for the first two quarters.
Yeah.
And we got here just before. Just when the third quarter was about to start.
Yeah.
So went down and watched it in a bar that's here, and I was like, yes, boys, come on, fan cams from Adelaide. Mate, I'm smiling from ear to ear.
Mate, we're a bit of a a unique session today. We've had people call in from Thailand, Italy.
Yeah.
We had young George just now, little boy.
Oh,
You're calling
mate.
in from Adelaide, mate. It's blue abroad. It's blue abroad
Yeah.
tonight.
How cute was he, Matt? He was just
Oh, so cute.
like, because Tez, I've told you that I'm now uncle, and I took photos of my little one on Tuesday, and she's
Yep.
only 5 months. So if I ever get her on a fan cam one day, her name's Odette. So I would love to bring her on and show it to you, Matt. She's super cute. And then I'll be like, Odette, go to Terry, up the baggers.
Yeah.
Tell
Yeah.
them what Uncle told you to say. And she'll do it, Matt. She's just a little bundle of joy, Matt.
So, hey, Tez,
Amazing.
who are you going for tomorrow?
Tomorrow in the Adelaide game.
Yeah.
Remind me again who they're playing.
West Coast.
West Coast.
Oh, okay. I thought the West Coast had their turn last week. I think the Crows will get back on top tomorrow.
Yeah, I know number 33, Brodie Smith. He's my cousin.
Cool.
So, yeah, we're going over to watch him play tomorrow. We've got the best seats in the house at Adelaide Oval. Our first time together.
Yeah, correct. So my first time watching a game of footy over here in Adelaide, Tez.
Cool, mate. Cool. Well, we'll speak to you in 5 days because we play the Power, and chat to you after the game.
All right, Matt. I'll catch you when we're back in Melbourne. But up
See
the
you guys.
Baggers!
Happy birthday as well, mate. Cheers.
Thanks,
All
Matt.
right,
Cheers.
see ya.
See you.
How good. All right. Danny, let's talk.
Hey, Tez, how are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Good. Just between moving houses right now. So being a really busy boy today. That is the reason why I couldn't go to the game, but watched all of it. How good is it having a defensive line back, Tez?
It's we've gone through this patch now where we don't want to blame injuries, and we never will. But there's just a reality, when the best available defenders are there, lo and behold, we're a better defense. It is what it is, That's not to say that it's not important to see what the list is about, but I think all of a sudden, because of what Lockie Cowan was able to do in the last, 4 to 5 weeks, everyone comes back and then he plays with such confidence now today. So, maybe we found something there.
Definitely. And I'm so glad watching fan cams that he's getting a shout out. Cowan, like he played such a good game, and it's just the willpower and also the speed, Tez, because that's what sometimes we lacked out of the back half. Yes, Sadi was a big out, as I said last week and the week before, but Lockie Cowan was that missing piece that we had in our defensive line. Marchbank, yes, coming off an injury, but he lacks that speed. If you want to play Marchbank, he plays when Kemp is not there. Say he plays that kind of a role where he's a good interceptor, but he's not really good when it comes to getting the ball, moving the ball out of the back half. So big in there, amazing win. What I really wanted to discuss with you, Tez, was yes, injuries obviously test our depth and everything, but I feel like this is if we can get everyone fit on the ground, I feel like this is the kind of game that we want to implement. And then as I said, hindsight is a blessing. Hindsight can do a lot of things, but then we can't change a lot of things because can't go back in time. But I'm not going to blame anyone. But I think one ruck system with the tools that we have in our team is the way to go. The turnover game, Tez, did you have a look how quick we were, especially with that transition? I think Ollie Holland started it, gave it to Crippa. Crippa gave it to, I think it was Chinkota. And then Chinkota just played the ball on the angle, picked up by Ovies, and then Zach Williams marked it inside. I think very close to the goal square. What beautiful ball movement. And that's the kind of ball movement we want as it's beautiful. Our first 4 rounds, that was basically go-to game until Chara got injured and then Pero came in. And then that's as I said, I don't want to be a hypocrite because how good Pitnet has played for us. So we really can't say that it's Pitnet. All I'm saying is if TDK is injured, get Pitnet in, but we can't have 2 rucks in the system if you want to play a turnover game. We want to punish teams, Tez. That's what we lacked when we played Collingwood. That's what we lacked also when we played against Sydney. Not saying that we would have won the game, but it probably would have been a better game by us. And what I want to put on point, and someone on notice, is my Chinkora. Have him for fucking hell, the fucking game that guy had, mate. Amazing. On Miller, he could not, I couldn't even see Miller. Like, I was like, he's playing such a good game. And his speed, like, you know, at the end of the day, we have to utilize players for the strengths that they have. Chinkora's strength, yes, he is a good lockdown player. He can lock down half forwards, small forwards, but he has a burst of space. And yeah, amazing game by him. And on the feet thinking, you remember, last week I said that having Charlie Curnow in our defensive half when defensive 50 when we were 30 odd points down was not good coaching. Today it was the total opposite. Charlie didn't have touches. He was obviously getting dominated by Miller. What's the guy's name? I forgot the guy's name. Mark Andrew. Amazing. For his 19th game, I think they were saying, or the 9th game, whatever it was, amazing. He uses his height as an advantage. And then obviously we free Charlie Curnow because it's more like people kind of say it's Charlie Cameron kind of a role. But I would say just have him further up the field. That obviously he has more touches on the ball. And you see what he does to Tez. Nothing to talk about in the first half. And then third quarter, bang, bang, bang. And you can see the impact that he has. He only needs 5 to 7 minutes because he's a momentum player. He kicks 1, he kicks 4. And then another one that I really liked, Zach Williams in the forward line. I think the awareness that he had to pick up the crumbs, like, you know, when they were in a contest, the aerial contest, and then he went in and was at the perfect positions, amazing. And as I just saw someone say that, oh, well, we can't. What are we going to do when Jack Martin's in? Oh, well, Jack Martin's in when Jack Martin's in. Mary Cottrell apparently is going to be out for another 3 or 4 weeks. I'm good that we found a good plug, which we were missing 4 weeks ago when we were playing the better teams. Now we have that plug and we have those players. I feel like, Tez, this is perfect. I was actually I want to give a shout out to Fantasia as well. I give him a lot of slack and call him out for what he does. But today he was good. He had a couple of good kicks inside the forward 50s and good score involvements as well. So all in all, a really good game. And it's not, I think I'm just kind of quote Hoyne here. It's not who you play, it's how you play. That's what he always talks about.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. It's not who you play, it's how you play, because how we move the ball, how our pressure was up. And also, other thing that I want to put on notice is the scoring efficiency test. We had 60% scoring efficiency today, which was amazing. We both have the same inside 50s, I think. We had 51 inside 50s, both of Suns and us. But our efficiency was really good. We're 60% efficient, which is what we want to see. We were struggling a bit in the first half, kicking a bit too many behinds. And the impact that we had on the ground was not showing on the scoreboard. But then the latter half just took care of itself. And then the last, you can say 10 minutes of the fourth quarter, we were just saving our legs for the 5 days break that we have with Adelaide. That's what I think. So to summarize, mate, all's not lost, as I said last week. And we go one game at a time, take it off and go Blues, mate. What do you reckon?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think you've covered all bases pretty well. I want to give a little shout out to Ollie Hollins. I felt like today was a bit of a breakthrough for him after playing against some really senior wings in the competition. I think Ed Langdon's probably one of them. Josh Dacos last week got shown up. You're talking about Errol Gordon and these types. And then I thought today he's all of a sudden showing young Sam Clohisi a little bit about what he's learned over the last month. And I thought he looked a lot more confident, and he looked like he'd come out of a bit of a patch today. And I hope he continues it, because it's going to be important for him to continue up next week.
Right. Yeah.
But I think he's just ticking along. He's just working. He's just figuring himself out. And I think he deserves a bit of a shout out, young Ollie.
Because Tez, and even his friend, brother Elijah, amazing. those boys have like a fucking extra pair of lungs on them, mate. They run like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
So amazing. And I feel the players that we have, the pressure was up. Gold Coast Suns had their pressure up, but the way we handed the ball, like the handballs that we had, and our handballs. Look at the stats. I don't know if I've looked at it, but our handballs were massive.
Well, you there? Can't hear you. Can you hear me? Nope. All right, we might move on.
Sorry, mate. Yep. I'll talk to you later then, Tess. Go Blues.
All right, mate. Go Blues. See ya. Tim Wilkes. He's been a member for 45 months. That's nearly 4 years. Thank you, mate. Loving how we are creating competition for spots. Mate, loving that you have been a member for 45 months. That is incredible. Thank you. Jimmy. Ella.
Hey, Terry, how you going?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. I finally got a good win. Unfortunately, I missed the whole bloody thing.
Where were you?
I didn't look at the calendar at the fixture when I booked my kid's birthday party today. So, I had to miss the game today. And then I completely forgot it was on while I was at the party. I was just so busy with it. But I did catch the KO mini at home. So I've seen the highlights. I see we've unearthed the new small forward there today.
Potentially. It's one game, but I mean, he's kicked. he's put in the best performance for a small forward for the year, I reckon. He's up there with Owies. So, yeah.
So, I mean, obviously the minis only showed me so much to watch the full game. But, I mean, how did our defense hold up today?
Oh, that was solid. I thought we leaked a bit. We leaked a few goals that are disappointing. But I think all in all, it's good to have them back. They will only get better the more continuity they get. They were right.
Cool. And do we think based on what you saw today, do you think we could take it to Port Adelaide next week up there?
Well, mate, I'm always going to say yes. I'm the positive one. No, I think we can beat any team in the competition if we are playing our best football. Anytime, anywhere, any place, any week. I think if we're at our best and we are really dialed in and our attention to detail is dialed in, we can beat any team in the comp. So whether we do that on Thursday, I don't know. But I know we can beat them.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Anyway.
Any other standouts today that I should keep an eye out in the replay?
You should keep an eye out for... You know what? Why don't you watch the game and you come back to us? Because, I'm going to do the work for you, mate. You do the hard work and I'll get back to you.
All right, mate. Well, have a good one, okay?
Thanks, Jimmy.
Enjoy the win. Thanks,
See
mate.
ya.
Have a good one.
Tyler.
Terry, how you going?
Said to you last week, can we just get a win? You said yes. We've got the win. It wasn't super convincing, but it was a
wasn't
win.
pretty. It wasn't pretty. No. And
Yeah.
as I said, the last fan cams, I expected this win to happen. Like it was, you had to come away from this game no matter what with a win. So I'm pretty happy with that. All in all, first quarter was really happy with. I was really happy with that. Second quarter was a bit average. I'll say that much. But that I reckon it could have been a lot better if we were kicking straight. That's just all it came down to. Third quarter, we got back on top. Our tackle pressure was good, but see, at the same time, when you looked at the Suns, some of those goals that they kicked, we had to make them earn it. Really, some of those goals that they kicked were freak goals. I don't know how they managed to kick some of them, but look, in all honesty, the fourth quarter was also really good. Really happy with the final quarter. But I don't know. We need to put teams away. We're that close. You're 10 minutes up. You're 47 points up. I think it was. We should have just gone. Let's go for it. let's continue. Let's continue. But look, they're going to learn about that. A few standouts, I would say 100% was Zach Williams, 100%. Hell of a game from him. 4 goals. 4 goals.
Mate.
When he kicked that 4th goal, I don't know. I just erupted. I'm just going, I don't see that from Williams a lot at all. So pretty impressed with him with that. Ollie Hollins, wow, what a game from him. Bloody impressed. And then Chincotta had an amazing game. Charlie got up towards the end. Harry had his patches as well. And then also, I'm going to give a shout out to Patrick Cripps as well. Cripper was bloody good. And I think as well, he took it to Rao a few times. I loved it when he took it to Rao. That was good.
Yeah.
That was actually really good. But
Yeah.
the only thing I also want to highlight is Tom de Koning with his ruck craft. It is actually starting to bear fruit a little bit. I can just see it happening. Like, who was the Gold Coast ruck again? Sorry.
Jared Witts.
Jared Witts, yeah. There were times where you'd notice, well, Tom would look at the play and go, okay, and that ball's coming in. Am I going to jump or am I not going to jump? Am I going to battle or am I going to just make a big play for the ball? And you could see at times he was out bodying Witts sometimes. Not saying all the time, but when he was on the field, it was working. It was working 100%. Now, that comment just before about like Pitto and this whole ruck debate, like it's been going on for the whole season. But I just want to mention that it shouldn't matter if Pitto's in or Tom de Koning's in. If it works with our turnover game or not, it should be no matter what. Our midfield should be defined by our clearances. And even if Pitto's in, it shouldn't hamper our turnover game at all. It shouldn't even matter. Because you look at like what Sydney did and all of that. They smashed us in the clearances last week, even though we weren't really on at all. But at the same time, when their turnover game was working, they were hitting it no matter what, regardless if Grundy was on the ground or not. So it shouldn't make a difference. But that was just my take on it. But look, in all honesty, solid performance. It's going to be a really tough game. Very, very tough game at Adelaide. But I just want to say this. This is the standard. This is the standard. No matter what, I don't care. This is the standard. Even when we were playing at our worst against Gold Coast, we still managed to come out on top and roll them. That should be the standard no matter what. If we go out by a couple of close games or whatever, so be it. But no more of that Sydney stuff. You just saw them like they were tired, or like I don't think they were just mentally off. Really, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that again. In all honesty, because they know they can do it. And see, it was interesting because like Pom, when we were watching through the watch along and all of that in the second quarter, Pom said, you noticed that. He said they were playing to the momentum swing of Gold Coast. So they kind of anticipated that Gold Coast were going to come out firing, and they instantly went, okay, we're in defense now. We're in a defensive mindset. That was the issue. I find with Carlton is that we have to unlock that ability that you can still attack and still defend at the same time. You can get that equal balance as well. I get it. You need to know when to go and when not to go and pull back. But pulling back in the second quarter was not good. Honestly, it wasn't good because we were up. We were on top and all of that at the start of the second quarter. But then we just went into our shells a little bit, and we were playing in it more. Not a risk, like it wasn't risky and all of that, how we were playing. Because the contrast from the second quarter to the fourth quarter, completely different game.
Yeah,
Completely
the second
different
half.
game.
I think the
We
second half.
really took it to them. And I think
Yeah.
that's what Voss really hammered in at halftime. Just go for it. Like seriously, there should be no reason that you shouldn't be taking it to GW to Gold Coast, really. So, but just a very quick mention. I swear, Terry, the umpiring is now getting ridiculous.
It was fucked today. It was. I didn't realize.
It's getting ridiculous.
I didn't realize it was 2-17 or 2-9. I didn't know that. I wasn't keeping track of the amount of threes that we had won. I try my best. I think we all do. We all try our best.
Yeah,
not to
I
play
try.
umpires, but mate, they're bubbled up so much, and that crowd just exploded after.
Yep.
There was just one too many bullshit calls against us, and it just it was great.
And it all came down to, because I heard the crowd absolutely lose it when Harry marked it in the goal square, and it was because Kennedy apparently blocked. And I'm going, now that's bull. For one thing, that was the worst call. Even the commentators were saying that was ridiculous. It shouldn't have. And see, the thing is, as well, honestly, throughout the entire game, there were so many calls missed from our side of the field, and like the gut punch to friggin' McGovern was right in front of the umpire, and that didn't get mentioned as well. Like, come on, like. And I get it, the umpires are under a lot of pressure and all of that, because this week has been, the media has crucified them with what some of the decisions that have been made, like, because some of them cost games. They pretty much, like a draw for Fremantle and Collingwood. Who would have thought that was going to happen?
They will take it. Well, that's the thing. The competition is very tight.
Very tight.
Prior to this round starting, there were 5 teams with the 6-4 record. We were one of them. So were the Suns.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
We're what are we? We're 7-4 now. I haven't looked at the live ladder, but I think we're still sitting 7th.
Wow, we're 6th, I think.
6th? Okay.
Yeah, I think because I was doing the live ladder, and I think pretty much the entire chat was doing it as well. Towards when we got into the fourth quarter, when we were so many points up, and they were saying it got to a certain point, and they said we are 0.3%. We just need one more goal, and we were 0.3% behind Collingwood. One more goal would have ticked us over to 5th. And but so be it. But in all honesty, good win. We're going to have to take it 100% to Port Adelaide. I reckon it's going to be tough, especially at Adelaide, and they've just got to get out of that mindset. Yeah, okay, it's a 5-day break, but even though we're playing at Adelaide Oval, the hoodoo magic of that fortress has got to basically be dispelled at some point. We need to be able to play away, and especially at a team's home ground as well. We should be able to do it, and I reckon we will. It'll be a great game, and I hope Jesse Motlop gets up next week. I reckon he definitely deserves a little bit of time to have a bit of a go. But if he doesn't, then so be it. And I reckon they may bring him back after. Who knows? They might even decide to bring him back after the bye as well.
Let's keep going, Tyler.
100%, Terry.
But,
let's do
thanks
it.
for calling in, brother. See you on Thursday.
See you Thursday.
See ya.
Up the baggers.
Up the baggers. Wow. Okay, I'll deal with that update shortly. Okay, who's next? Wayne and Pops.
Peace, guys. How you doing, Blue Abroad brothers and sisters? Yes. Hello, Terry.
Hello, Pops.
How you going, boy? All right?
We are, it was a win. It was a much-needed win. Bit of frustration after last week. I think the boys let everyone down. Well, they did. They let everyone down.
I nearly fell off my chair about the umpiring today.
Oh, my God.
Oh, lucky I had a piece of concrete right against me so I could stop me from falling over, because I was disgusted. It was terrible.
Return fire to the umpires. Martin Roger, you're an egghead and you're a disgusting, rotten bugger. There we go. I've said my piece on that. What some of the commentators called Alex Kinchotta today. I was like, wait, what? What did he say? That was hilarious.
They called him Kinchotta.
Kinchotta. I can't remember who it was,
But how was his game? Was phenomenal.
Oh man,
Toot Miller, I didn't even see him all day.
Oh, it was one of the better tagging jobs that you'll see. Yeah, he was
Absolutely.
He was all
Yep.
over him.
Yeah.
I was directly in front of Harry's. Like his shirt was grabbed and he was yanked, and you could see it. And the umpire was 2.5 feet from him. Couldn't even see it.
Behind it and see it. He could see the light and didn't pay it.
Oh, that made me sick to my stomach.
I mean, there was just so many.
Everyone was trying
It
to
was a
calm their
joke.
kids down in the second quarter, and then third quarter they were still in the Legends Lounge room just because they just couldn't watch because of how bad the umpiring was, and they all came back out for the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Somebody said it was 14-4 at 3/4 time.
What's that? The free kick count?
Free kicks. Yep.
And
Mate,
apparently
it was it was 2-19. That's what it was.
Yeah. Well, I thought I heard somebody say 4-14.
It was rubbish.
That was like without the 50-meter penalties being counted. I think it was because they put those in after.
And that bloody 50-meter penalty that Witts got for the contest. Okay, he marked the ball, but he was still trying to, he only had it in his hand for half a second, and before it got punched out, and he said 50 meters. What a joke!
Yeah, it was.
I don't understand the game anymore, Terry.
It's
I honestly
changing
don't.
our eyes, isn't it?
Yeah, there was Zach. It was the Zach Williams show today, wasn't it? Spirit and
Happy
both
for him.
footy and spirit.
I'm really happy for him because he hasn't really had what's the word I want to use? I don't think he's had his Carlton
Consistency.
game yet. No, he hasn't had his game where you look back and you're like, I think Jack Martin's had his. Jack Martin's first game is the one that I remember. He kicked 4 goals in his first game against the Tigers. I mean, McGovern's obviously, talking about like these new guys that have come into the club a few years ago. And I think Zach has been building, but today was like a game where he put his stamp on it and it was all right. That was the Zach Williams game. That was today.
I think for the headline reference, I'd say second quarter, Mitchie saves the day. And then I'd say Boydie, Foggy, and Owie are the Bashy Bros. I'm looking forward to seeing their stats on the review. And oh man, Kemp's improvement this game. I reckon Kemp definitely stood up. Yeah, he made one blue, but I think I think he was great all game.
The Cowan got me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well,
he was just like a machine.
Do you think that's an example of why you got to kind of persist with some of these kids? I mean, like Ollie Holland is probably another one. Like, they've been struggling. They're playing against the best teams over the last 4 or 5 weeks. Today, the Suns are not a bad team, but they don't have the caliber of players that Collingwood and the Giants and the Cats and the Swans have. And then all of a sudden, you start seeing what they've learnt over the last month just come out today, and they've got Sarge back in, so Cowan all of a sudden has a little bit someone behind him to back him up, and he expressed himself well. I thought it's his best game for the club.
Brilliant. Yep, absolutely. Because before I left to go to the game today, I was watching the VFL side, and at the quarter time it was 2-46.
Yeah, right.
And then all of a sudden we got a few goals and we left to go to the footy. So I'm just wondering how it goes because we only had 9 players, and you're supposed to be able to put 13 into the VFL. We only had 9. That was it. We were playing 17-year-olds.
Yeah,
I don't even know what the score was. Not sure, but anyway,
belted.
Just keep plugging away and see how they go.
Absolutely, boys. Big game Thursday night. Massive.
Oh man, get pumped, get drunk, get happy. We're gonna win.
Yeah, I hope we do easy.
Go Blues.
See you, mate. Go Blues.
That was very good. All right, I got a couple left before we wrap up. Aiden, Andy, and I'll finish with the Sun stand. Aiden, hello, mate.
Yeah, good man. How was that? That was pretty good, eh?
Yeah, it was. They needed to respond, didn't they?
Yeah, well, it wasn't convincing, but it
No.
was the result that we needed. I wanted to say one thing. Do we need to kind of play that, like, we need to let loose a bit against Port Adelaide? Like, as in, like, try and play our best brand of footy that we saw last year? Because we're not at our peak, but would you want us to somewhat express that brand a little bit come Friday? Because I'm sure
Mate,
that Port will, but...
Mate, I wanted that from. I wanted every week.
Yeah.
I think we got a few key soldiers back today structurally. I think Fogarty's one, and I think Sard's another one.
Yeah.
And I think, they'll be better for the run. Hopefully they pull up well and can back it up next week. And, we're coming into the halfway point of the year where next week will be, at the end of next round, we'll be halfway through. And then all of a sudden you start thinking, all right, can we time our run perfectly,
Yeah. Yeah, like Fogarty and Sard, they did play well, but they didn't, they had to kind of ease into it as well, if that makes sense. Like, we didn't get to see their best, but they eased into it a lot. And I really liked Ollie today. Like, there was a passage of play, I think it was the first or second quarter, where he kept running alongside that win, offering options. I think we kicked the goal out of it as well. He was really good, but yeah, Zach Williams. I think I said it to you before. I think we unlocked something new down there. It's going to be pretty hard for Martin to get that, to get his spot back. So it was pretty good from him.
Yeah, I was shocked. I mean, Zach's an offensively minded player. When you take away his need to defend, I mean, when you're in the back line, you have to defend. And I don't think Zach's a bad defender. I just think he's more of an attacking player than he is a defender. So I think putting him on the half forward flank, he had a few stoppages where he was in the midfield. I think it's good for him. How that looks when Cottrell and Martin and Motlop and these guys are in the side, I don't know, but I think it looked great today. And his ground level work's obviously good. I mean, his ability to read where the ball was going to land was a highlight today.
Would you play him in, because I saw him in the midfield a little bit, but would you kind of play him in that role as well as Sincotta just for that pace?
Yeah, well, they both give us a bit of a point of difference. I reckon Sincotta didn't really look to be offensive today.
Yeah.
He was more locked down.
Yeah, he was
but I think Zach for sure.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that I think we'll see Sincotta next week in the middle. I do reckon that he will probably tag, I think, Butters next week, I think. But
could be a good matchup.
Yeah, and one more thing. Apparently on the umpires, as bad as they were, Vossi mentioned that the club are going to look into it. They're going to conduct a review about it. Because he mentioned that there were some calls that were not good and whatnot, and he mentioned that he doesn't really talk about the umpiring after the post game, but he said that the club will do something, and they need to, because some of the decisions today were just outrageous. They were just not good enough. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty. I do feel confident about next week, to be honest with you. They love a big occasion, and yeah, I'll probably go next week as well. So yeah, should be good.
Amazing. All right, Aiden. Thanks for calling in, mate.
See ya.
See ya. Paulo, I'll leave you to the end. Is that going to work for you? Yep. All right, Andy, let's do it.
It's a breath of fresh air having to see a win like this again, huh?
Mate, wins are good. Wins are good for wins are good for your skin. Wins are good for your vibe. They're just good.
It's good for having an afternoon shower too, might I add. So might as well stick to it.
Yep. What did you think of the game?
It was an interesting one. I think, especially when Zach Williams, everyone's talked about that by now, but I think we may have just found a new Anchristo, if that's how it's pronounced. The flying doormat.
Bruce Dool?
Yeah, that guy. I think he was the flying doormat. We found him. We found a new version of him. He kicked 4 goals today, which I think was the most he ever kicked in his career from memory. I think
That was the most that Zach Williams has kicked in his career. Yes.
Oh wow. I'll be damned then.
I'll be damned, Andy. Indeed. Does this win give you confidence that we can win against the Power next week?
I definitely think. I mean, I remember the Fremantle game. I remember Gather Round where we did finally manage to secure our first win at Adelaide Oval. So I reckon what the boys should do in terms of going back there again is to remember that Gather Round game and consider the mindset that they have what it takes to take on Port. Because, like, again, Port. Someone did say that Port Adelaide is not undefeatable, but it's more so in how the younger players manage to go along with the older group, right?
So do you think we can beat the Power on Thursday night?
I'm rather competent in saying that we can, yes.
Amazing. Who was your player of the game today for the Blues?
Oh boy. I reckon Cripps, Williams, Cowan, personally. I actually really start to like Cowan now.
Oh.
And there's like Zach Williams was one. George Hewitt, I think, was another one. Welsh, I think.
Cool.
All that sort of group, yeah.
You watched it from home today?
Ironically, I watched very little of this game as I was busy helping out with my family. But from the footage that I did see, more so in the second half, I was actually really impressed with how, like, despite our forward entries being not too great, I feel like it's starting to show that it can be beneficial in the context of where we currently sit at the moment in terms of our forward line.
Yep.
And sorry.
Yeah, we'll just see how it plays out. Andy, thanks for
Yep.
calling in.
Let me have a quick song for you.
Sure,
This
go
was
for it.
that I written up quickly. And this is for those that constantly underestimate us and everything in between, right? Here we
Give
go.
us your song. What have you got for us?
Do not underestimate us ever again. Do not underestimate us ever again. Throw us under the bus, won't you? We'll come back and haunt your nightmares. Do not underestimate us ever again. Come on, Blues! See you till then.
Say, Andy. The Suns stand. Hello, mate.
How are we?
I will tell you this: you are the first opposition fan that has been on a fan cams.
I thought I may as well jump in, see how you guys are going after that win.
Yeah, it was. I mean, from my point of view, it was just a solid win. I thought after Flanders was laid out, I thought we could really get on top. I thought that might have dented your confidence a bit, but I mean, you guys laid 51 tackles in the first half. You didn't give up. We didn't really put you away like I hoped we might have. But yeah, what about from your end?
Yeah, it was disappointing to say the least. You guys should have absolutely ran over the top of us. The only stat we won in the whole game was tackling, which says a lot. But yeah, we definitely had chances to kick in front when you guys were missing a lot. Which I said in my review video how different the game could have been if we had have been up at all, because we get on top of teams when we're up. But I think Jed Walter was very disappointing and got subbed off just before halftime or just after halftime. So I think, as I said on Thursday night, probably should have a week or two in the twos. I don't know why we dropped Sam Day after a 5-goal performance, but I'm so jealous that you guys got Elijah Hollins. He ran amok today.
Oh, yeah, he's one of my favorites already. Yeah, just love the addition of him. We have a guy named Dave Cunningham, who I think is a player that Elijah's he plays a similar-ish role. I mean, when we think of Cunners at his best, that's the role I picture him playing. But I think Elijah's now given us such flexibility with the rotations, particularly in the midfield, half forward. But I mean, he goes anywhere you want him to. He's and he's still so young.
He just doesn't stop running at all. Like
yeah.
he I think it was like late in the third quarter, he kicked it to the edge of the half forward line and then ran straight into the pocket, and no Suns player followed him. Then he had a set shot on goal. Like, he just doesn't stop running. Everyone else would have stopped. He doesn't. So yeah, jealous that he's not at the Suns anymore, but it also questions as to how Stewie Jew didn't see that potential in him, because he played like just over 10 or so games at the Suns.
Yeah.
It's 2 year stint with us. So if he had more opportunity, we might have been able to get Ollie, but at the end of the day, we saw Elijah leaving us as soon as Ollie was drafted to you guys, but it is what it is at the end of the day. You guys got the victory. We didn't. We should have been better midfield game, and your midfield ran right compared to us. I did not see Rao, Noah, or Took at all. It was just dominant midfield display.
Yeah, no, it was solid. Our midfield got their asses handed to them last week, so that they had to respond, and just goes to show how tight the competition is. I think you boys next week, your midfield will probably take what happened today and respond, and there you go. So all good, mate. Well, I think I speak on behalf of the live chat as well. We loved having you on this week. Thanks for joining us.
That's all right. Thank you to your community for being so kind. It's fantastic to see. And hopefully all the other fan channels can get around it, join together, and hopefully get the AFL industry on YouTube up and about.
Fingers crossed. Thanks, mate.
All good. Thank you.
All the best for the year. See ya.
Yeah.
All right. Lucky last, Paulo.
There's a bit of class from that young gentleman.
He was good. He came on the team show the other night, and we all just got around him. It was great.
Good. It helped me get over my laughter fit.
Oh, mate. I'll
New number 1 on Spotify. Never underestimate us. That was spectacular stuff. That was absolutely spectacular stuff. It's making my top 100. That was brilliant.
It's just live the fan cams. They're just it's just so much that can happen at any moment.
It's spectacular. Oh, dearie me. Anywho, solid enough today without being spectacular, but I think it's to be expected. And yes, for people wondering in the chat, it is still me. So for those wondering, it's definitely
had a bit of you've trimmed the feathers, mate.
Bit of a cleanup, mate. Bit of a cleanup.
Yeah, wow.
Exfoliate the skin, mate. So, all's well. All is well. It was solid enough. I think you summed it up well. Frustrating at times, but I think everyone kind of knew that we had the edge over them, and we put them to bed when we needed to. The last 10 minutes was a bit frustrating, but I think overall it was solid enough. Nice base to set us up for the next couple of weeks with, I think. So very, very impressed with Lockie Cowan's game. I was very taken aback by the way he attacked the ball today. So lot to like, but a lot to work on, I think. And I think that's just been the flavour of our season so far, 7-4 now, and we welcome a few troops back, and we just got to keep rocking and rolling and chipping away, don't we?
Do you think Lockie Cowan in particular, do you think having Saad there and having the month that he's had playing against the really good teams that we've played allowed him to play with a little bit more confidence today, knowing that, the big boys are behind him?
Yeah, definitely. And, you're only as good as the blokes around you, I suppose, but that they allowed him to get up the field and to press high and to do not do as he pleased, but to play the role on the front foot, which is what we want to see from our back six and our midfielders and our front half as well. So I like he reads the play so well. It was one thing I noticed just watching him throughout the whole game, that he kind of positioned himself at times when the Suns were on transition in between Suns players. So it's that sort of zonal marking, but he would mark two players at the same time, which is really, really smart. So he'd position himself to make the Suns player make a decision whether or not they'd go over the top of him or in front of him. And if they went in front of him, he was close enough and on his toes enough and advanced enough to be able to cut off that option. And then he was also in a position where he could get back if they tried to go over his head, but it also allows time for the guys behind him to set up. So, the longer the ball goes, the more it stays in the air, and it allows our defense to set up too. I thought we defended much better today in most part. And, the game was lost in the midfield last week, and the game was won in the midfield for us this week. So, people are going to say, we don't have that killer punch or anything, but we showed that killer punch today when we went bang, bang, bang at the start of the last quarter, put the game to bed. Could we have won by more? Yeah, probably. But I don't think we're in that mold. I don't think we're ever going to be that team, to be honest. I don't think we're ever going to be that team that's going to put, go 10 goals in front and hold that margin for the majority of the season. And the Suns have been pretty good this year as well. They've got, arguably the best coach of the modern era managing them at the moment. So, again, there's a lot to like out of today. And as much as our stars stepped up, it was nice to see after halftime we learnt our lesson, not baiting into the McAndrew trap. We started to get up. Yeah, but see, this was the problem when those midfielders ahead of the ball and those half forwards are not working hard enough to make space 60 to 70 meters out to receive that short option. You're kicking the ball in long from 80 to 90 meters out, and it's landing 40 meters out, and you're allowing McAndrew a jump and run at it, and that's exactly what he wanted. Whereas when we started to land the ball 60 to 70 out with that little hit up, his game was null and void, and that's where we won the contest. So it was nice to see them swing the magnets, and it looks as it is only one game, but they made the move and stuck Zach Williams up forward again, and it worked. And I suppose they're going to continue with that, and it was nice to see him show a bit of forecraft too. He's got an eye for goal with what we've seen today, but again, now he's got to back it up, and now he's got some confidence under his belt too. He started celebrating, so I guess that's going to be good for his psyche as well, because there was a little bit of pressure building up on him, probably from his own end with regards to performances. But I think getting goals is going to put him in a good mental state, and I think that's where he needs to be at, coming off that ACL injury and coming off a bit of a niggle a few weeks ago. So it's really good for him to get him on the score sheet. I think you'll see his game evolve now over the next few weeks. That's what I'm predicting with him.
I mean, we were saying it earlier in the show. I mean, that he's been with us for a while now, Zach, been injured a lot. I think that was his game. Like that, he put his stamp on a game which we hadn't seen before. Yeah. How does his role evolve now? Like, what do you think? How do we get the best out of him consistently now?
Yeah, I think the mid-forward role looks as though it's going to be the way forward, because this was probably the most impact he's had on a game for maybe since ever at our club, to be honest.
I think that was his best game for the club. Yeah.
Yeah, it's arguably one of his best, if not his best, just with regards to impact. And was he a match winner today? Yeah, probably. He ended up proving a pivotal difference up front for us, and that's what you pay the money for. You pay the money for match winners, whether it's down back, whether it's in midfield, or whether it's up forward. So the one thing for me out of this game, regardless of performance on his end, is the psyche for him now, and how his mental state is going to be going forward. And I think this game is going to hold him in really, really good stead. You can see he's just starting to get a bit more confidence in his body. He's starting to get his hands on the football a bit more, and he showed a forward craft today that I didn't expect him to show at all, given that it's a completely new role for him. But maybe you can teach an old dog new tricks. I suppose that's what we're looking at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I think across the board there was trust shown, trust in Zach Williams with that role, trust in Chincotta with the new role, tagging Took Miller, trust in keeping Lockie Cowan in the side. And, the reality is you got to evolve from within. You have to find new ways to keep evolving. I think last week the big criticism was around the midfield, bit one-paced, Kennedy, Cripps, Hewitt, and then, you just got to take your whack. We're going to get whacked again at some point in the next month for sure, and we're going to have to learn something else, and, that's footy.
Yeah, it's funny. Everyone says, oh, they got no plan B. They got no plan B. And then Chincotta moves to Miller and Williams moves up forward, and we start to shift everyone. Oh, why don't they making game moves? Why don't they make them? And they make them, and they end up coming off, which is great. And it's funny. I think Pommy mentioned it too. As soon as Chincotta went off, Miller for that little while in the last quarter, you saw the way Miller was able to really impact the game and really hurt us. And he did have a bit of the ball prior to that little patch he had in the last quarter, but no, the damage was already done for us. And, Chincotti, I would like to see him just get on the end of, I think we can utilize him a lot more aggressively, really get him on the end of chains. But, he's just got to, first things first, do what you have to do as part of the team, lock down those players, make sure they don't get a lot of the football. And then the additional layer to that is when you really start to get your confidence up, start to get on the end of things and start to hold opposition accountable. And he's one of those players too that can go the other way offensively. And he can also hold his opposition to account with regards to that too, because if they don't track his run, a player like him can get off the chain as well, and he can get involved in score involvements and score launches. And we've seen that he's capable of kicking a goal as well. So there's a lot to like with regard to that. But for me, it's the development of Brodie Kemp and Lockie Cowan that we're seeing before our very eyes in what you'd arguably have to say is a premiership window. And those two are two players that they've just touched wood. They've kept their body right, and the continuity and consistency of being out on the football field sees them continue to play good football. And unfortunately for Caleb Marchbank, I don't think there's a spot for him in this team anymore based on what those two players have done. So, ultimately, that's what we have to continue to do. Keep these blokes on the park and ensure that their output is of a standard that's going to get us to that next level. And if it is Kemp and Cowan, so be it. So both players are, I think, what we need in that role too. They're both aggressive defenders. I look, Kemp towed up Lukosius, and Lukosius is a bloody dangerous footballer. He is a dangerous footballer, and he was very, very well quelled by Kemp. And Kemp's starting to use his physicality. He's an underwhelmingly strong lad. He doesn't have that massive frame like, you look at a guy like Pitnet who's mass. You look at a guy like Wiedering who's mass, but Kemp is smart with the way he contorts his body and the way he positions himself, and he reads the ball really, really well in the air. So I was very impressed by those two. And we just look so much better with Mitch McGovern flying at the ball as well, don't we?
When he's got that type of mentality, when he's switched on like that, he's a very dangerous player.
Yeah. I also think I thought Sard was on a chain a bit today. It didn't feel like he wasn't explosive today, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I just felt he was a bit tentative. Not that there may have been a directive with regards to that, or there may very well have been a directive because we didn't see him explode. You see him explode with that little 1-2 handball out of the back half when we need it. We didn't see that today. And I'm not knocking him or anything like that. I think it's just more him trying to get back into the mold of, okay, I've just come off a 6-week hamstring. I just need to.
It's a pretty big layoff that he had.
It is.
It's a significant time to miss.
Yeah, it is. And he's another player. He's going to have to build his revs up again after having a start-stop, now start again season. I thought Harry worked really hard. I thought Charlie's battle with McAndrew was spectacular. But we just played into his hands in that first half. And he seems a pretty decent footballer, McAndrew. So,
he's going to be a problem in this league.
Isn't he? He is, yeah.
Mate, his reach and his athleticism and his ability to read the ball in the air, like he's got all the elements.
Yeah. Those gentlemen with those African genes, Lekalir as well. My goodness, it's just so athletic, aren't they?
So impressive. Yeah, so impressive.
Yeah, very, very good. He was very, very good today. But again, it's just another one of those games where we find a few little different layers, Williams and Cowan, and we can move on to next week. So it's a long season, mate. You've just got to keep chipping away, and we're 7-4 now, and we get some sort of momentum back, which is good. And we go to a place now against Port Adelaide next week for I think it's going to be a beautiful moment for us next week. We go to a place where we've never beaten an Adelaide team, and bring it on. I say they've got to embrace it. Don't see it as a scary proposition. See it as something that's going to be a fantastic moment for you to not rectify, but just to put the gloss on what's been a solid enough start to the season, I think. So I'm really, really excited for what they're going to dish up next week. And, I hope that the end of the game for us is not the way we we go into that game because they there's that saying, you start the way you finish the game the previous week, but that's not always a rule of thumb. But yeah, it's funny. I feel like no one has really got a gauge on us yet, and I think that's a good thing.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
The optimist in me says we are timing our run beautifully.
Mm.
The pessimist says we're just hanging on.
No, I don't think we're hanging on. I don't think we're hanging on at all. Last week, I think, was a bit of an aberration. It was one of those weeks where they just looked completely disinterested after Sydney got that run on in the third term. And you know where they lost the game. They lost the game in that third term after being belted at clearances. But you know that is something we can rectify because it's been such a strength of ours. And I mean, I was despondent with the result last week, but I think we all knew we were going to bounce back pretty strongly because we've shown that we have this season. And a lot of the things you see out there with regards to the improvement we need to make are all very, very fixable. It's not, it's just chipping away at the edges. It's not major surgery or anything like that. So now we just need to keep these blokes on the park.
Yep.
That's what we need to do.
We've got the backline mix. They're there.
Yeah.
Let's just pray for the team to be settled. I'd like to imagine a period of time over the next couple of months where we get, especially the last 6 weeks of the season, just it's hard. You need everything to go right. And I just want to see everyone there, backing it up every week. I mean, this time last year we were losing Harry, we were losing Walsh, we were losing Chera.
And
still
we were
found
losing
a way
game.
to get it done. And so got to time our run. We haven't peaked. We're nowhere near peaking.
No. Well, Pito said that to Pito said that to me a couple of weeks ago when I went into his presser and had a chat with him, and I think that's crystal clear. There's absolutely no doubt about that. I think there's two things I wanted to raise as well. Maybe the one main thing is I think comparing this year to last year is, can it be fraught with danger? Yeah, maybe a little bit, but I suppose if you do look at, because I think you still have to compare to understand where you're at as a team, right? And understand where you're at in the evolution of us under Michael Voss. So last year we had injuries, we had this massive form slump, and we could not get out of it. We just could not win a game. Whereas you look at this year and you think, are we playing as badly as we were last year? Maybe in patches, yes, but we've set ourselves up far better than we have last season. And now there's this evidence and optimism coming into the second half of the year that there's no way known that they can't believe that they can go on a massive run in the back half of the year, because there's the evidence to show that they've been able to do it, and against very decent opposition as well. So the belief is there. And Arsene Wenger said, without belief, you can't do anything. Without belief, you may as well not go onto the football field. And that stands for all of us in the grandstands, in the media, at the club. There's no reason why we shouldn't believe that these boys can go on a massive run and make a massive run for the premiership. We did last season. And I would actually say to this point in time, we're actually in a better spot than we were last season. But moving ahead, we now go to 15-2 under Lockie Fogarty. He's a handy little player, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that record before the game.
He goes all right, Fogarty, doesn't he?
Yeah, he'll be better. Here's another one. He'll be better for the run. He actually got plenty of the ball today. Yeah, wow.
That's the difference. He applies that pressure that we have been looking for in that front half, but he also gets his hands on it. And conversely, too, he's a little bit of a point of difference if they want to throw him in the midfield too. And he's as tough as nails. He's very, very tough, mate. Very, very difficult to tackle. He finds those little intricate bits of space where no one wants to operate in, and he's a nice user of the ball. Probably should have taken his goal early in the game, but Lecalier has just taken an incredible mark. I'm just watching this game, Giants versus Geelong, on the screen here. But look, I mean, and Motlop played in the reserves today. I've got to go back and watch the replay there, but they got beaten. But there's now options, and we just need to slowly but surely chip away. You don't want to peak too early. You just, look at Geelong. They went 7-0, world beaters, and now, they're staring down the barrel of 4 straight losses. Sydney have peaked very, very early. Are we a 50-point worse team than Sydney? No way known. There's no way known. There's no way known. And then the difference today between, opposition was inferior to what Sydney was, but we were locked in. You could see from the moment the ball was bounced, we were completely locked in. And even during that second term, after halftime, you could see they were engaged. You could see the midfield. It was a midfield, mate. Look at the numbers of the midfielders this week compared to last week.
When that focus and that attention to detail is there, it looks good. And when it wavers, we're average.
Cripps not getting pushed off the ball to create space for the Gold Coast runners, like we were last week against Sydney. And we found our happy medium, I think, between arresting momentum in that game and really, really putting the foot down when we needed to. So, again, impressive patches during that game, but there's still a lot to work on, which is good. Which is good. And you'd rather do that this time of year than get found out in a grand final or a preliminary final. So we move next week. Big game. Thursday night, back in the lights. We're going to be back in the media headlines and bring on Port Adelaide, mate. They'll be up for it. They weren't particularly impressive against North Melbourne today, but now they'll face a pretty stern test. I feel this game, just before we wrap up, I think this game will hold us in better stead than North Melbourne would. I think we've had the better test, and we're probably a little bit more battle-hardened than what Port Adelaide is. But I guess we'll find out next Thursday. So
we shall.
Looking forward to it, mate.
Absolutely. Enjoy the night. You're on SEN overnight all night?
Tonight. Yeah, we've got FA Cup, Manchester United versus Manchester City. So that should be a good game if you're a Manchester City supporter, of which apparently there are plenty. Now there are City supporters who I've never even known were Manchester City supporters until 4 years ago. So I guess that can be said for a lot of people with regards to Manchester City. But yeah, they'll probably win tonight. It's Eric Ten Hag's last game, and we'll just worry about Arsenal, I guess.
That's right. Good on you, Paolo. We'll
All right, have a good night, mate. Go Blues. Ciao. Take care.
Webby, he's snuck in. He's going to finish off the fan cams. Here he is. Mate, what's going on?
Next? Who's next, bro? Let's go. Jesus, Paul, I can talk underwater, can't he? Fair income.
Up and about, Webby, mate. Good to see you smiling.
I've just stepped out of the pub, so I don't know how this will go, but, mate, a win's a win, yeah? Win's a win. 7-4. Here we go. Here we go. Let's go.
Absolutely, mate. 7-4. We're it's the new era where we're moving away week by week from the disaster that was the Carlton Football Club, and I think that can't be forgotten. That cannot be forgotten. What we've lived through.
So I haven't watched the fan cams. Has Joel been on tonight, mate?
Joel's been on. Yeah, Joel's been on. He was up and about.
Right. All right. Mate, Joel, listen to Webby. Believe. We have the cattle. Do not tell me we can't win the premiership. Please. Come on.
It's anyone's league,
winner,
mate.
yeah?
It's anyone's league. I do think he's right.
We run this league. Remember that. We run it.
Well, I hope so. I hope we do. Nah, look, I think we are in the mix. We've still got a lot to get right. We've got to get our boys back.
We have a long way to go. Yes. Agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
What is it? Round 11?
It's round 11.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Where do you think the most important parts of our game are that we need to address, like ASAP?
Yeah. For me, teams transitioning it out of D50.
Yeah.
Because I saw it today, even against Gold Coast, who are, so-so. They're okay, but they were just transitioning it way too easily at times. Do you disagree?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen, Sam Flanders didn't play. I thought he was one I was worried about today. I thought that helped the cause, particularly with that, exit out of our forward 50. But yes, that's definitely a weakness of ours.
Yeah, and again, only 9 tackles inside 50. We had 9 against Sydney and 7 the week before, and I think it was 7 the week before. We have to lock it in more. We have to lock it in, Terry.
Hmm.
Okay?
That's true. So we can win the flag. I'm going to assume that means we can beat Port Adelaide Thursday night.
100%. We can beat anyone on their day.
I
Anyone,
love it.
Terry.
I
We're
fucking
here to
love it.
win it, yeah?
We
got
are.
3 years. We got 3 years to win the flag, yeah?
3? Mate, why can't
3 to
the
5.
window be 5, 6, 7 years, mate? We're going to keep rotating the window.
3 to 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
I
so.
tell you who impressed me. Kemp.
Who's that? Yeah.
Kemp. He was good. He was good. Taking his intercepts and, yeah, he was good. Sincotta on ball, I liked as well. Williams on ball, along with his 4 goals. Hopefully he's not too injured. I heard he might have hurt his knee towards
Who?
the end of the... Zach
Zach Williams?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
Who
what
said
I
that?
was reading. I was reading that after the game.
Where?
But the very last few seconds. But
No, as in, where did you read it? You read it like on the AFL website, or you read
Twitter,
it on
Twitter.
Webby? Twitter. Come on, mate.
X. But Baggers, we're here to win it.
We are.
Do not underestimate this football club. We are here to win it. We got superstars on every line. We're here to win it. We're 7-4. And I still see people complaining. We're 7-4, people. We were 4-9 this time last year.
We were. True.
Come on, let's go. We don't have to go on that big fucking run as we did last year. We're here to win the flag. We're here to top 4. We're here to win to finish top 4, and we're here to win the flag.
Let's get the win on Thursday night, and then maybe the
So
top
let's
top
go,
4.
Terry. Let's
Mate,
go.
I love it. You enjoy your night and go Blues.
I will. Come on, Baggers. Let's go.
Amazing. He's up and about. And there's your fan cams. That was awesome. That was great. We had Jeff calling in from Thailand in a pool. We had young George, little Bub, who went to his first game, giving us a go Blues, giving us a woof, giving us a wave. This is the best. Thanks to everyone who tuned in. Thanks to everyone who tunes in every week. Love having you guys here. Don't forget, in the live chat, you'll see the link to the pin. If you haven't got your BA pin for your scarf, you got to get it. You got to get it. I want to see them on every scarf that we go to, that I see at the footy. So that's that. An important win. We don't really have much time to think about it, to be honest. We're going to move on. We've got five days, and then we're playing again. So we will review it. I don't know if I should be sharing this here. Okay. Pommy has had a fall and he's hurt himself. I just got a message from Zoe. So maybe if we could just send Pommy a message and send our regards to him. He's hurt himself and he's okay. He's in a stable condition. He's gone to the hospital. But Zoe just wanted to tell me to let you guys know. So the main thing is he's okay. He's fallen off some ladders, and yeah, so just goes to show any moment anything can happen. I'll check in on him now, but if you can just send him a message, everyone, I think that'll help him. He's in a stable condition right now, and he's going to be okay. So we do need him, and we do love him, and we want to send our regards to him. Okay, we'll get an update as we get it. So, yes, Damien, spot on. Let him know to be careful. But yeah, that's that. Guys, have a good night. Enjoy. Watch the replay. The review will be up tomorrow. I'm not going to do it now. I'll have a good sleep. I'll do it tomorrow morning, get around it, and we'll go from there. See ya. Go Blues.